J-Dog, we are looking at a milder start to our midweek. We got a packed show for you. Hey, Alexa, hey, Google, worldwide. Play the Pulse of an H. And everything with us is the Pulse of an H. Our poll question up on X this morning. President Trump announced he's going to do a 9 p.m. Oval Office address. And coming up, we got a live report from the White House. John Decker, our White House correspondent. But our poll question up on X has to do with that. Are you going to watch or not tonight? Yes or no? You're going to watch or not? And we have a packed show for you. We got some good information on these affordable dwelling units. We all hear about housing. It's not affordable. These ADUs, these smaller, more affordable. You've heard Bob Jackman, one of our great sponsors at La Valleys, talk about this. We're going to hear from a lender who's trying to educate the lending community, like banks and mortgage lenders, to start lending for these ADUs. So if you live in New Hampshire or Maine, our audience, New England, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, play the Pulse of an H. Good morning up into Maine. We have additional strength for you, 98.7 FM HD2, 98.1 FM, 1270 AM. Lakes Region 107.3 FM, 98.7 FM, 107.7 FM. We got you covered, and we're growing up into our territory in the region. But if you have a home and you're a couple and you might be, say under 40 years old and you're working, you got a family and you got a mom or a dad or someone you love that might be getting up there in their years, and you don't want them to not live in a nice, safe home, but you have the acreage, you have, an eighth of an acre behind, or a quarter of an acre, half an acre behind your home, and you could put in one of these small ADUs. These are small, like, I don't like to use the word tiny homes, but mini homes. It could be 800 square feet, and you'd be surprised how much living you can get into 800 square feet. Nice bedroom, kitchen, brand new appliances, good heating, a roof over the head, living room. These affordable dwelling units could allow a loved one, a parent, to live on your property right next to your home, but have their own privacy, and you have your own privacy. But up until now, communities, the zoning, people haven't been sure how to deal with these ADUs. We're going to hear from a lender over in Maine at Kenny Bunk Savings. Matt's going to talk about this in the 10 o'clock hour. Jesse from Outside In Construction is going to join us. He is cranking it and, doing it a great way up in the Lakes region on home building. And I'd love to get an update from Outside In Construction. John Marasco coming up this morning, Director of Motor Vehicles, with some stuff on you, the driving public. J-Dog, I know you were off yesterday. I hope you're well. And I mean, I hope you had fun. I'm just responding to one of our listeners. I hope you had a good day yesterday. Are you liking these milder temps, J-Dog? Tomorrow, did you see Friday? We're into the 50s.
Yes, I'm going to be going somewhere as well later on for Vinny Media. So.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'll let you know.
All right.
In suspense.
And I don't know about you, but with the news, Brown University searching for a suspect, the murderer. Latest out of Los Angeles, the Reiner tragedy, and just, sad stuff. The story out of Australia. How many victims now? Is it 15? That dirtbag terrorist who came out of his coma arrested over there in Australia. Good. But the point is, the news has been not great. Not good. I was coming in this morning, J-Dog, over towards the seacoast, and I saw not one, this was early this morning, but 3 racing state police cruisers going to an accident scene. And it was, it was in that 7:30 to 7:40 a.m. range, and it was over probably on, I'm guessing, Route 16. But they were racing somewhere, and that's not going to end well when you see 3 troopers going that fast to an accident on the turnpike. And I don't know what happened, but I just think the news hasn't been terribly great. The story out of Brown and some of the news each morning. So we're going to have a fix. We're going to have a fix for that. Renee Palmer is going to join us with some good news, and she has a great attitude. And she's going to talk about, well, I don't want to steal her thunder, but the attitude and what we can learn. You ready? From Dick Van Dyke. Great topic, Renee. Great topic. All right. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Google. Play the pulse of an H as we get going on this morning. President tonight, as I said, is going to be giving an address from the Oval Office. And, it's going to be interesting. The way Caroline Leavitt talked about this, the president's going to be talking and touting his accomplishments in the first year. And I'm going to give you my commentary on this. The talking about what you feel, and I'm not saying, because I'll tell you where the president gets no credit, is on the border and on, cutting down illegal immigration numbers, which were just so porous, meaning like the border was just, we didn't know how many people were coming across in the last 4 years. The estimates are 12 to 20 million undocumented, illegal, whatever word you want to use, people. But my point is, the economy, you saw the president a week or so ago go to Pennsylvania and talk about, didn't talk about the economy as much as I hope he did. He kind of just teed off on other stuff. But doing an Oval Office address has to be somewhat planned and scripted because it has to be timed and coordinated with the networks, not to sound like a media guy. So when the president goes to a rally, like he did in Pennsylvania, and he can go on for an hour and a half or 90 minutes, I think John Decker said, probably can't do that tonight. You see presidents on a State of the Union address. Bill Clinton did this a couple times, go quite a bit longer than the 20 minutes. I think one of the shortest I ever saw was George W. Bush, the State of the Union, but sometimes they'll go on for over an hour. It's 11 o'clock and you're sitting there sound asleep and the president's still talking to Congress. But an Oval Office address, the point of this is to address the nation. But again, the problem now is everything is so polarized. Look at Congress. The House today is going to be trying to vote something on the fixing the Affordable Care Act. And I'll come back to something I think is incredibly ironic. But nothing's really going to pass. Nothing really is going to pass before now and the end of the year because the Democrats are all in. They want the extension of the COVID era. How stupid COVID era, the whole thing. COVID era tax credits for like up to 3 years. Forget the debt. We just want this and nothing else. And what the Democrats really want, but they won't tell you, is they want this to be an election issue right up to the midterms. Because they're going to say the Republicans over here, even though you're talking the Affordable Care Act, and not everyone's on the Affordable Care Act in our region, oh, my Republican opponent wants to take away your health care. Convenient talking soundbite. But the point is with the president, talking about what a great job you've done, people want you to do a good job because more people elected you than Kamala Harris. So just going out there and hammering, even if the national media never gives you a break. I'm talking mainstream national media, like on the border, on some of these stories, just the way they begin, even the government shutdown, they would never begin the news on ABC saying, well, Democrats for the 14th time in a row in the Senate voted no to reopen the government. In other news tonight, no, they want to do that. So the president, I hope he's a little more specific. Oval Office address, he can't go on for 90 minutes. I hope he's a little more specific on policies and what he's going to do for Americans, for middle-income Americans. And getting back to the Affordable Care Act just for a moment, what I thought of last night is the Republicans are such bad messengers, meaning their message. The Democrats, before Roe v. Wade went back to the states, the Supreme Court, New Hampshire has no restrictions on abortions for anyone who wants to get an abortion for the first 6 months. It's only in the last trimester. And finally, Kelly Ayotte, running for governor, got ahead of that one with a message about what her own experience, what she felt about it. Because Democrats would say, oh, my Republican opponent wants to ban abortion. My Republican opponent wants to ban abortion. That's not the truth. But if you say that 100 times, people go, oh, my Republican opponent wants to ban abortion. Now it's going to be, my Republican opponent wants to take away your health care. My Republican opponent wants to take away your health care. And then the Republicans are on defense saying, wait a minute. The COVID era tax credits were set to expire. We're not ending anyone's health insurance. We want to fix this. No one talks about why the Affordable Care Act is not affordable. No one talks about it. Why is it so expensive? Why is all healthcare so expensive? You want to improve it, introduce competition and price transparency, and let people shop. But they won't do that because the whole thing's a racket. But why don't the Republicans just say, wait a minute, don't say I'm going to end health insurance. The Affordable Care Act is theirs. So-called Obamacare. They passed it. No Republicans voted for it because we knew it was going to be out of control. And it's a federal program and we know what happens with those. They own it. And if it's unaffordable, it's their problem to fix. Don't blame me for the tax credits that expire at the end of the year because they were supposed to expire after COVID. It's their problem. Make it the Democrats' problem. Why is the Affordable Care Act, that is your act, so-called Obamacare, why is Obamacare not affordable? That is a Democrat question to answer, not a Republican. But again, the Republicans are so bad in their messaging, they get on tangents, and then the media kind of doesn't, they won't do the story down the middle. So they're going to say Republicans failed to extend the tax credits. And, oh, wait a minute. The tax credits were set to be temporary anyway. And the Affordable Care Act is a Democrat push. Republicans tried to appeal it once and failed. It's totally a Democrat so-called, state health care enrollment mechanism, Obamacare, and it's not affordable. Why is it not affordable? The Democrats passed it. They own it. Why is it so expensive? Some commentary. 603-228-2080. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Google. Play the Pulse of an H. Jack Heath. J-Dog on the boards. We're also on YouTube streaming at the Pulse of an H if you want to watch. Back in a moment.
Sundays at 3 on the of New Hampshire.
All right, I'm going to bring back one of our political analysts and all-stars on this Wednesday morning. He's busy trying to finish his final grading. Political science professor, Southern New Hampshire University, one of our great partners and sponsors with Penman Pride, heard on Wednesdays. We have Professor Dean Spiliotis back. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Jack.
I wanted to two quick things for you that are a little bit bizarre with all the negative, bad news on these, the violence and the divisiveness and Affordable Care Act and House and recess, is the Chief of Staff Vanity Fair story, which is over here. But more importantly, the president's going to announce the other day he's going to make an address tonight. We have John Decker, our own White House correspondent, live from the White House in a few moments. He's going to address the nation at 9 p.m. Now, we can talk about the optics and the mechanics versus a rally, which I want to touch upon. But Caroline Leavitt from New Hampshire, the White House press secretary, who was on the show 3 or 4 weeks ago, touts this as the president's going to sort of tout his accomplishments in the first year. Now,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you know, I get it because I know the president feels, and I know sometimes when I say I wish he was a little more presidential or could just temper it down a little bit, you're not going to, Donald Trump's never going to change, because kind of what got him there is the same thing that may bug you on some things. We're not going to be able to, as chief of staff, Caroline, no one's going to be able to tell him, hey, focus on these 3 policy initiatives. So he's going to talk about all the things because he does feel the national mainstream media doesn't give him any credit for anything. And you and I know that, how he feels. So what do you expect tonight? What do you think what is this going to be?
Yeah, I think this is an attempt to basically regain control of the narrative. He's taken a lot of hits in recent months with the drop in approval and a drop even among Republicans to some extent in favorability on various policies. You had the economic news that just came out, unemployment's at its highest rate in 4 years. You basically look at job growth, with the exception of healthcare and construction, it's flat since April. Wages are going up a little bit, but not much more than the rate of inflation. So I think, and then you mentioned this Susie Wild interview is 11 interviews over 11 months, all apparently recorded, all on the record. They've had kind of real difficulty sort of pushing back against it. They're not really denying it. They're just saying it's out of context, which is what you would expect from any administration hit with something like this. So I think what we're going to see tonight is him attempting to kind of reclaim the narrative, what he believes are his accomplishments. As you said, we all know he believes he doesn't get sufficient credit for the things he's accomplished. And so it'll be a lot of that. And the 2 questions for me are, is there going to be a script and will he stick to it?
That's a question.
And the second question is, will he paint a rosy picture? And I'm not saying he shouldn't try to highlight his successes, but if he paints a rosy scenario that just doesn't ring true with people, that won't be helpful. He doesn't have to get on TV and say everything's a disaster, but people are going to be looking for some element of kind of realism and acknowledgement in where we are right now.
And then there's the other reality: in today's day and age, how many people are actually going to watch this thing live?
Exactly.
But this is what I'm saying, Dean. I tend to look more at the message as a communicator, because I know what I'm not good at, but I know what I'm okay at. And I know how the president's style. I've had him on my show several times. So I know he's frustrated. I've seen it in the last few weeks. I've asked John Decker sometimes with questions about affordability, cost of living. In Pennsylvania, when he went out to talk about cost of living, he just railed against Democrats, which is fine. But J.D. Vance the other day, here's what I don't think people like to hear. Okay, I know all day long and all night that the Biden administration, with federal spending through the you-know-what and low interest rates, started an incredible fire of inflation that we're still dealing with. So, but blaming the past boss, blaming the past White House, when you've been in there a year, only goes so far. And hear me out of this. I didn't like it a few weeks ago when Aaron Rodgers of the Steelers lost a game and blamed one of his star receivers for not reading the play better. You're the quarterback making all the money. You're the boss. So I would like it if the president would say, look, cost of living, affordability is a big issue. I get it. I understand it. I'm out there every day. I know it. And yes, the former administration started this fire, but we're putting it out, and now it's my responsibility. my responsibility to put out the flames of inflation, and this is how we're going to do it. I think that would resonate better than just like JD Vance saying, "Hey, it's the former administration that did all this. We didn't do it." That blaming is not leadership.
Right. Right. Well, and you can look at. I mean, there's a raft of polling data out there now that says that the voters, including a fair number of Republicans, don't buy the idea anymore that this is all Biden's fault. I think at some point, I mean, every administration does that, slams the prior administration. That's nothing new. But at some point, whether you think it's fair or not, you own it. And I think that explanation for everything starts to lose its effectiveness at some point. And I think we've kind of reached that at this point. So he may do that. I mean, it's almost reflexive at this point to blame Biden. And sure, there are lots of things we can blame him for, that, the inflationary spiral. We got up to what, like 9% or something like that. And prices don't really go down once they're up. They just like go up more slowly or more quickly.
But that's another thing. Do some real numbers. President Trump's a business guy. Do some numbers. Say, hey, we've gone from 9% to this. The price of chicken is now this. The price of gas is use real numbers.
Yeah, you can do that.
Use real numbers. I think it's interesting. Well, we'll see where it goes. I don't know. We have the Affordable Care Act debate. Again, I think that even could be turned back on Democrats, saying, look, they wanted it. They defended it. It's their act. Ask them why it's so expensive. But that's going to go into the new year. So I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, all right. Looking forward to it. I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. It's really interesting.
All right. Dean Spiliota, Southern Hampshire University. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jack.
That's at 9 p.m. You'll hear about it, of course, on our news. Fox News, top and bottom of the hour. Director of Motor Vehicles in our studios in a moment, talking about some changes for you, the driver, and some new technologies. Back on the Pulse of an H in a moment.
News
and that'll be tomorrow night.
Who's you told me there's a Saturday night game?
There's 2 Saturday night games.
Are you serious?
Why wouldn't there be? They do this every year.
I don't know the NFL schedule as intimately as you do. And why are you in such a mood? You were off yesterday snowshoeing.
It was not snowshoeing. That's why I'm in a bad mood.
Oh, you didn't get out? I thought you did.
I did get out. I worked out, but I didn't do snowshoeing.
Okay, well, then you have yourself to blame.
No, you have yourself to blame.
You love me. Hey, have you got me a Christmas present yet?
Never will.
Because last night when I was cooking and I was waiting for my
Mr. Grinch.
I was waiting for my smarter, prettier, better half to get home. I watched Rudolph, and I thought about you and me the whole movie. I mean, the show. You know why? When the storm hit, and then they slept at the Land of Misfit Toys in the little cabin.
Whoa. Hey, it's a family show. What are we doing?
No, they crashed in the little cabin when the storm hit with Yukon Cornelius.
You were saying you were thinking of me and sleeping. I'm like,
No. They slept. They spent the night at the King Moonrazer. Is that his name? And I go, that's like Dog and I camping. All right. We have guests. I'm giving them time to get composed. I was stalling.
You need to get composed.
All right, going to bring the mics closer to you. We have director John Marasco in our studios. He's your director of motor vehicles for the state of New Hampshire. How many offices now?
Jack, we have 14 throughout the state.
14. And I know I got to go there, even though I have a passport, because I want to get one of these real IDs. So do I have to make an appointment?
You do.
Really? Even though I know you, I have to make an appointment?
You do have to make an appointment. And here's the beautiful part is that on the way over here, I looked at the appointments available throughout the state. You can make the same day appointment in Concord, in Manchester, at just about every location.
I'm going to do it
today.
in Dover on Boston Harbor Road.
Dover. That's perfect. It's a great one out there.
Okay. Now we have the assistant director.
Deputy Director Melissa Riley, who just got sworn in last week.
I'm well, thank you.
You just joined the whole Department of Motor Vehicles? Or you were there?
I was at Department of Safety for the last 5 years left,
Wow.
came back. So
what were you doing? What were you doing there?
I started off in human resources at Department of Safety. Then I left and went to Department of Administrative Services and was in the Division of Personnel. And now I'm back.
You know what I did the other day? We have time, so I'm taking my time. And you were nice to come in because you have some cool stuff coming up for the new year.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you both run with that. And then thank you for what you're doing. But the other day, speaking of administrative services, I was talking about employment and, just dumb me. I just leverage AI and I go, hey, state of New Hampshire, good paying jobs. And I go to Department of Administrative Services and it lists like 150 positions with the description, all these jobs to work for the state of New Hampshire. I'm thinking, what a good thing to do. If you want to make a career change, everything from administrative assistants. Who do we have, J-Dog? I don't know who.
John Decker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you pause for the White House?
We certainly can, Jack.
Can you pause? John Decker, White House correspondent. John, I kind of lost you there. We started talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Department of Motor Vehicles, the president's address. We had an analyst on earlier this morning, 9 o'clock tonight. John Decker, White House correspondent. Good morning, John. Sorry about the delay.
It's all right. No problem, Jack. What's happening tonight, the president will speak from the diplomatic room in the White House, and the president will likely look back on his first year back in the White House for his second term, talk about what he believes are the biggest successes and accomplishments of his administration in this first year back in the White House. The president may also explain more about what the U.S. role and goals are as it relates to Venezuela, after we learned last night on social media that the U.S. has now instituted a blockade of all oil tankers carrying that sanctioned Venezuelan oil. So that is what I expect from the president this evening.
And by the way, the latter point, not to get into foreign policy, this is not small stuff, John, because Iran's watching this, China's watching this, Russia's watching this with its oil tankers, because I know where that fuel goes. And this is getting to be quite a beyond cartel drug boats, as you know what I'm saying. This is getting to be we have a heavy naval presence in the area. Let's just put it that way.
Well, we do. We have an aircraft carrier, and all of the naval vessels that go along with an aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, that is some pretty big firepower. And we've seen more than 90 individuals being killed in these attacks, these strikes on those
Right.
alleged drug boats that's been over the course of the past few months.
And John, before I let you go, real quick, 10 seconds. This is not a rally. This is an address from the White House. Scripted, teleprompter, 20 minutes. What do you predict?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 20 minutes. I think it's going to be a lot longer than that. I think it will be on a teleprompter. Look, the president talks almost every day about what he's accomplished. He even did so last night, Jack, at the Hanukkah reception at the White House. So I think it's going to be a little bit more like that. This is not atypical. Presidents often do this at the end of a year. And hopefully there's a nice Christmas message and New Year's message contained in this address as well.
Yep. And I guess trying to grab the message back. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right. So great jobs available, and you may have some, but John Marasco, you have your deputy director of motor vehicles, 14 locations, but run through what all of us who are on the roadways as license holders, I guess customers of yours, what's coming, any new changes? Because I know recently you did your online appointments. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jack. Yeah, we're looking forward to our new mobile vehicle, which is hopefully going to roll out here within the next 30 days. We're just finishing the connectivity on it, but all the equipment's on there. It's going to be the first ever New Hampshire mobile division of motor vehicles. And we'll be able to take that to locations around the state, such as veterans homes and assisted living, where people want to get a non-driver ID, but may not have the opportunity to come into one of our locations. We'll be able to provide that service. We'll also be able to provide it for commercial vehicle testing. So at our locations around the state, the mobile vehicle will go there. The candidate will go through the testing process, and we'll actually have them onto the vehicle, take the photo, do the license transaction, and they'll leave that parking lot with a temporary credential. So that's something we're looking forward to. The other thing is, right after the first of the year, we're going to open a state-of-the-art location in Raymond. So right now, we're co-located with the state police off of Exit 7 at Troop A in Epping, and we appreciate the partnership with the state police there and in all of our locations.
Do they let you in that building, having been a major there?
They do, which is I really
You
appreciate
still have
Colonel
like a
Hall and
little
the team
pass
allowing
there to
that.
get into the building?
Yeah, well, I worked out of that barracks for 9 years, so it's nice to go back there and you got the DMV side, the state police side. It's wonderful.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Seeing everybody. No, it's a great partnership that we have, but it's a little tight. We have it's a high volume location. So the
Yeah,
new
it's a busy area
location,
in the whole area where a lot of these troop barracks are, Bedford, Epping, getting busy.
yeah. And so the new location is going to be off of Exit 5 in Raymond, and it's 3 to 4 times the size. Like I said, state of the art. More counters there, and easy in, easy out. It's going to be a home run. So we're going to open that right after the first of the year, and we think that's going to draw from Manchester and maybe some other locations too. So we think Raymond's going to be a winner.
How many folks in the division now, department, roughly?
230.
How many?
230.
230. And typically, when we think of a Department of Motor Vehicles, sometimes it's to get your license renewed. Sometimes you might have lost your license. You go in there for something like that, right? And, you typically, I think of one the last time I went, you see some people ahead of you. You got the folks up there working, and, they call you and you go up. But you're changing a lot of that too with this appointment ahead of time, right? Leveraging online appointments.
Jack, what a thoughtful question. Thank you for asking it and noticing that. And
Was
really,
was he just trying to be nice to me because I asked him about the state police barracks? Thoughtful question.
We're always nice
Wow.
to you, Jack. We appreciate you so much. That what I really would like to do here is thank the residents throughout New Hampshire, because I use the word partnership. It is a partnership. When you have 425,000 people that come through our doors every year, that's a lot of people. It's nearly 7 sold out Gillette stadiums, and in order to do it the right way and get people in and out in the time that they want to be in and out, which right now we're doing it in 8 minutes on average, we needed to really expand the appointments. And I want to thank everybody in the state for recognizing that, taking a look at it. And what I'm hearing from everybody on our operations team, Kathy O'Neill and all of our supervisors, people are coming into the DMV, they already have the appointment. You can make the appointment on the spot, depending on the transaction and the urgency. You certainly can call ahead and we'll book it for you. But by and large, that's not happening. What's happening is people are going to the website like I did this morning, seeing the appointments there, booking them, coming in, having a great DMV experience, and being in and out in 8 minutes or less. And that's a testament to you mentioned employment, Jack, and state employees. That's a testament to the heartbeat of the DMV. Our publicly facing employees that are helping those 425,000 customers a year and making it happen one after the other. And it's just it's awesome to watch.
I have to also give your folks credit because I know Easy Pass is not a direct function of Department of Motor Vehicles. It's an outside contract, correct?
Yes.
And these are just the automated things that allow us to go in and out of, tolls. But through your office, I just had a question, like a lot of people. You alerted us a long time ago about the Easy Pass scam that people are getting a text message.
Yeah.
Hey, you got unpaid tokens or violations. We're going to come seize your home and car and your dog. I mean, it was a scam. But I had one too where I didn't realize something, and I got to give your department credit and one of your employee. I don't know if she's a state employee, but Celeste. I had a older. Why did your deputy look at me when I said older? She just looked at me. I had an older Easy Pass, which people can do, like your Easy Pass. When I don't know, it was like 14 years old. I didn't know the things you don't think about. This kind of the batteries go
Right.
and then the thing's old. So instead of going to an Easy Pass service location, getting a new Easy Pass, dumb me, I'm going, why am I getting these invoices that I'm going through tolls when nothing's changed? It's the same vehicle. I'm not driving a rent-a-car. But one of your people called me back, and she was so nice. That's all I'm saying. A very nice state employee, which I love about New Hampshire. What other state do you get a human being to call you at all? She goes, there's a Easy Pass service thing in your area. It's Manchester Court, whatever. Go there in the afternoon, and they'll replace the battery, give you a new one. And she was right.
Yeah.
And it was all over and older. And then they took care of it was only like $8, violations, $8. They go, you know what? It's legitimately wasn't you, and you're all set. You go, that's it. Thank you. But it wasn't really a DMV thing, but it was kind of,
Jack, it's a great example, and I really wish that there was a way for for the citizens that we serve to see the DMV team, the leadership team, the employees in motion every day, and the desire. Our motto is "We work for you," and the desire to be the best that we can be each and every day, and figuring out how can we leverage technology, how can we change a process, what are customers saying about what their needs are, and where can we make those improvements. And when you see how dynamic it is, and we understand that, as a DMV, you could look across the country and some people could say, well, you have to go to the DMV. That's the only place you can go and take your driving exam. It's the only place you can go to get your license or a title or a registration. But we don't look at it that way. We look at it through the lenses of we are a premier customer service organization. We need
Right.
to be the best that we can be each and every day for the citizens that we serve. And this team does that. And I'm just so proud to be part of it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap it up. I do have a question about Real ID because there are, recently I heard something that I don't know if it was TSA or airlines. If you don't have one, that you could get charged when you fly. It's easy to get. We're going to remind people what they need to bring to get a Real ID. The difference between that and a passport. Hey Google, hey Alexa, worldwide, play the Pulse of an Age.
107.7 WTPL. Back on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
So we have the director and deputy directors of your department. Yeah, I like that. Your department of motor vehicles, and a lot of changes coming in the near future, including a mobile DMV unit will go out. Like, it made me think when Director Marasco was saying that of Tom Raffio, President CEO of Northeast Delta Dental, how they do these mobile Medicaid trucks that will go out to locations for people that need oral
Dental
health
clinics. Yeah.
clinics, yeah. And also some other stuff. But let's talk about Real ID. Do you need it to travel? I heard if you don't have it, you might get a $50 fee added. People, probably should have it. You need a little more paperwork. I'm just sort of waiting you for to correct me. Some people may have a valid U.S. passport. That, I don't know if that works instead. So if someone wants to, and their license is coming up in a couple of years, like myself, they want to get a Real ID. Tell us the who, the what, the when, the where, how complicated, how easy. Tell us the process. Because you remember a month or two ago at the end of the year, there was a big rush to get them. I forget why, because they were going to start being used everywhere, and you came on and talked about it. So let's update us on Real ID.
Well, thank you, Jack. Yeah, so the first piece of that I would say is go to our website, dmv.nh.gov. You'll see right there on the homepage, it'll walk you through the steps to get the Real ID. I'm looking at it right now. Step one is going to be one item to show proof of identity. That can be a birth certificate, unexpired.
Could be a passport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And again, Jack, as you had asked, if you have a valid passport, TSA will accept that.
No, but I mean, if you're going to get a Real ID, can you bring a passport? How about a utility bill to show you live where you live?
Absolutely. So
What else? Is that it?
In a nutshell, it's going to be one item to show proof of identity, one item to show proof of Social Security number, and then here's the real difference between the traditional license and the Real ID is the two items to show proof of New Hampshire residency, and those are all federal standards, Jack, that we're authorized by the federal government to be able to provide that product.
No, hold on. You said Social Security. Do you need your original card?
You do. You need the original card, or
And
a
if you can't
replacement card.
find it, like a lot of people, where is that thing?
Yeah, and that's also on the website to get a replacement Social Security card through the Social Security Administration, but you do need the actual card for the transaction.
Folks, do these things, or imagine go to your website before, because you don't want to go over there on a busy day for your appointment and go, oh, I have 2 out of 3 things and I can't get this, and then get frustrated.
There's a Real ID checker on the website, Jack. By looking at what is listed and going through the checker, you're going to be set up for success every time you
So
come.
one more time, proof of ID.
Yep.
Other than your license?
Your license can be used as one proof.
Okay. License. What's the second one? Proof of residency? Or what did you say?
Yeah, and you need one item to show proof of Social Security number and 2 items to show proof of residency, which again, to your point, could be an electric bill, a mortgage agreement, a rental agreement,
Okay.
and your car registration counts as one of those as well.
Oh, okay.
And Jack, if I
As
could,
a form of identification.
as a form of residency,
Okay.
the car registration proves residency. I just want to recognize again the citizens in New Hampshire, the residents in New Hampshire, Jack. We're at 70%. We're at over 70% Real ID acquisition in the state of New
Now you're
Hampshire.
making me feel bad.
And I got to tell you, well, we get up to 70.001%. We get jackets.
I was
So that's
always
pretty
that,
darn
I
good.
was always that kid in 9th grade when they said you got to do this or that. I was like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Jack, we're gonna get you in the Dover. You can do this. We got all the requirements there. You can meet them. But if you look at other states, Jack, that are opt-in, like New Hampshire, you have a choice of whether or not to get the Real ID, and 70% is by and large light years ahead of where a lot of states are that are opt-in, and that's a testament to the spirit here in New Hampshire. People wanted to get the Real ID, and they came
I'm
out.
having flashbacks to one of my teachers in junior high school or Swampscott High School, and they say, you're a procrastinator. I go, what? and then I'm thinking of all the things they would say, and I love them. My teachers, you're never going to amount to it. You're going to end up driving a truck. I said, well, truck drivers make great living. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
Well, you don't do your homework. I go, Mrs. Dustin, can I ask you a question? If I did my homework as much as you want, wouldn't it be easy to come in and get A's? Isn't a real sign of intelligence to get a C+ and B- and not do my homework? And then she'd say, Jack, detention, sit down. You're going to stay after school. You're a wise guy. I go, no, I just asked you a question.
Jack, well, I mean, everybody has a
that in
different method.
college.
That was your
If
method.
people studied all the time in college, when do you get A's?
Yeah.
I used to not go to class for a semester and see how well I did in the final.
Yeah. Well,
He's listening. He's trying to figure that out because
Yeah.
you can tell he did his homework.
yeah.
So good luck to you at
Thank
the
you.
deputy director, and have fun.
Jack, thank you so
Will
much.
do.
And I just want to say, so thankful for Melissa coming into the position. And in the last week and a half, she's already taken on so many different DMV projects and involved with so many things we have.
What are you
going
going to end up doing?
on. Supporting Melissa and the team and continuing to do what
I
I
always
do, which
felt
is one thing
half-
after another, too.
Half the success, and I've done this on the home front, is understand who the boss is, and just say, "Tell me what to do." No, good stuff. Good.
Well,
good
Jack,
team.
if I could just say one
Yeah.
last thing, a shout out to the DMV leadership team. They are exceptional, and
Give
we
us,
have
you know what? We're not doing this, but give us a shout out of one of your supervisors or managers who comes to mind, who's kind of the 7th player award, who you think is just a phenomenal, great employee, or a couple that maybe you just want to say thank you for what they do.
Thank you, Jack. There's a couple. Ashley Gray, we had our DMV award ceremony earlier in December. She won the leadership award. She ran our project for the new license that was rolled out after the first of the year. Huge project, took a year.
Oh, I
and a half
remember
to
the
get
new
there.
artwork and everything.
That was all
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Ashley Gray. And the other one that comes to mind is our assistant director at the moment, Jen Bailey.
She did that a lot better than the CEO at Cracker Barrel, the restaurants. That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, Ashley was amazing. She did a great job. And
Yeah,
Jen Bailey,
you
our
definitely
assistant
got it.
director.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you so much. Congrats, Ashley. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. When we come back, affordable housing, these ADUs in the backyard. A loved one could live there. We're going to hear from a lender who's trying to open up mindsets that these are good things. In New Hampshire, affordable housing, also Jesse with outside in construction, what's going on in the Lakes region, but the whole affordable housing thing. And we have our friends at Ledyard Bank, and we are going to come back with that. Plus, we got a packed show for you. Some good news a little bit later on. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa, worldwide. Play the pulse of an age. Milder temperatures. You could probably go to the beach on Friday after the weather just, coming out of the weekend when it was frigid and freezing. Going to be into the 50s, J-Dog, on Friday. Believe it or not. Is it an early thaw? Winter hasn't even started yet.
Till Sunday.
I know. Good win for the Bruins last night. I watched that one.
For the
Hey,
Mavericks.
Google. Hey, Alexa, play the pulse. We had that for you, I think, in the pulse. Back in a
We
moment.
did.